At times, players will leave their lane and wander elsewhere on the map to help teammates gain an advantage over their opponent. Having a teammate show up in your lane to surprise your opponent can give you the lead in a close match, or even help to snowball a lead you've already created. This is roaming. Roaming is where a player wanders around Summoner's Rift to help other players on his team gain an advantage. Roamers will focus on ganking, warding, clearing wards, and applying pressure to the enemy team. All champions are capable of roaming. However, while certain roles excel at it, others are better suited to stay in lane. A good roamer will be strong at early levels, have strong base damage, won't need to farm much, and can set up kills for his team. The AD carry is least suited to roam when compared to the other roles. Due to the lack of crowd control in their kits, they will struggle to make an effective gank and sacrifice time that would be better spent farming. Top laners won't spend too much time roaming because, like an AD carry, they need to focus on being well farmed and ahead in levels and experience. However, when they do roam, they will usually look to roam to the middle lane because it is closest to their own. This will give them the best chance to create lane pressure for their mid laner. Mid laners are well suited to roam because they have the ability to move to either side of the map quickly. They also tend to have high burst damage built into their kits and can create multiple kills if they surprise their opponents by roaming. Some support champions are also well suited to roam because of their high mobility combined with their crowd control heavy kits. They will look to roam to not only create lane pressure in another lane, but to also create vision around the map. They do this by placing wards along the routes they travel in between lanes. Junglers are considered the best roamers in the game because they are constantly moving around the map to clear jungle camps. They can appear in any lane or even in the enemy jungle in order to pressure the enemy team. Since the jungler is not restricted by having to stay in one lane, they are well suited to roam. If you are ahead in lane and one of your other lanes is being heavily pressured, you should consider roaming to help alleviate that pressure. Before roaming, you should always push your minions to the enemy turret. The enemy laner will be forced to deal with the minion wave, and the minions will also give you vision of the enemy's whereabouts. At the same time, they won't have vision of you and will often assume that you are at your tower. This gives you a window to roam to another lane before your enemies are even aware that you have left the lane. In this example, Malzahar uses his spells to push his minion wave into the enemy turret. By doing this, he denies the enemy vision and gives himself a time window to safely roam to the bottom lane. His allies in the bottom lane die just as he arrives to the lane, so he is forced into a 1 versus 2 situation. Malzahar prioritizes Ashe and is able to kill her right as her reinforcements show up. After narrowly killing Blitzcrank, the enemy Lux and Lee Sin try to shut down Malzahar to no avail. You might also consider roaming if you've created a kill in your lane. With the knowledge that the enemy laner is dead, if you shove the minions to turret, they will often assume that you are recalling to make a purchase. Instead, by roaming to a different lane, you can catch the enemy team by surprise and give your other lanes an advantage. In this example, Thresh had recalled after helping to create a kill in his lane. Instead of heading straight back to bottom lane, he roams to surprise the enemy Malphite in the top lane. Thresh scans the tri-bush to ensure he is not spotted out by any wards while on the way. He manages to completely surprise Malphite, causing him to retreat towards his turret. The enemy Elise was hiding in a nearby bush, but after missing her cocoon, she is no match for Irelia and is quickly killed. With the help of Thresh, she chases down Malphite and he is forced to flash and use his ultimate in an attempt to escape. Some additional roaming from Thresh's mid laner helps to lock down the kill on Malphite. If you are slightly behind in your lane, you should not look to roam. If you do so while you are behind in farm and experience, you risk falling even further behind. Roaming becomes a major risk in this case because if you don't manage to create any kills, then you will have wasted a lot of time and gifted the opposing laner an even greater advantage. If you are looking to roam to help other lanes, you should take two things into consideration. Look to see which lanes are behind it could most benefit from your presence, then consider how much time it would take you to roam to that part of the map. If you are a mid laner and your bottom lane could use some added pressure in their lane, you wouldn't have to go too far to assist them. This would be a safe distance to roam. As a top laner though, you wouldn't usually look to roam all the way to the bottom lane because the time it would take to travel there is too great. If you are a jungler, you have the ability to roam to any given lane if they need help. So be sure to stay alert and look to roam wherever your appearance could benefit the most. Roaming can be beneficial for the roamer and the laner they help out. When you are able to roam and successfully gank an enemy as a result, both you and your ally will gain gold and experience, increasing your advantage over your opponents. Successful roaming can also create additional opportunities for you and your team to establish vision control throughout the map through warding and clearing wards. While successful roaming can help snowball your lead, it does not come without risk. By understanding and managing those risks, you can decide when the best time to roam will be and when the risk may be too high. When you roam, you will be sacrificing time that could be spent gaining gold and experience in lane or in the jungle. If you don't get any kills from your roaming, you will likely fall behind your opponent in lane. By roaming and providing pressure to other lanes, you can pressure the enemy, create kills, and also create vision for your team that you might not get by just staying in your lane. Knowing where and when to roam is essential in order to maximize the potential benefits.